Now, I know we've been enjoying our not shit Saturday, but let's enjoy our not mold Monday. Shall we? Where did I put it?
A victim of a parent with a mental illness. Yeah. That's what I believe. And so, like, I really, and this, you got a kid that's like 17, right? I mean, it's a little bit more, you know, it's like not really as definitive. But like, if you have a kid that's like pre-puberty and they're trans, your parents have a mental illness. And this is something that a lot of people need to hear. It is. It's something a lot of people need to hear. In school, yeah, no, you're right. And it could also be a school. And it's not always the parents. Sometimes it's a school too. But there's an adult with a mental illness in your life. That's a great point. And so anyway, a lot of people were posting this trying to act like, oh, wow, like, you know, we're going to try to get him in trouble for this shit. Like, I'm sorry, but this is like a 90-10 issue. This is like beyond even 80-20. Like, everybody.
Don't worry, guys. It's a 90-10 issue. I polled my chat and they agreed with me.
Fucking thinks this. The only reason that nobody's saying it is because people are afraid of saying it. The fact is that, like, I don't really give a shit because, like, I mean, fuck, like, I people hate me all the time, right? So, like, there's nothing to lose. But the fact is that it's a 99-1. It's an extreme situation. And especially, like, we're talking about, like, you know, I said, like, pre-puberty. And this is really the logic, right? Is that, so pretty much you have, like, the idea of being trans is tied to gender roles. But when you don't even...
The idea of being trans is tied to gender roles. That was beautifully said, Asmongold. Wonderful. Excellent.
Understand what your own gender role is because it doesn't exist.
This is the equivalent of saying photosynthesis is tied to the idea of plants. You're saying words that exist in the dictionary in an order that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
So pretty much you have, like, the idea of being trans is tied to gender roles, but when you don't even understand what your own gender role is because it doesn't exist, because you're pre-puberty and you haven't even, you know, gone through any sort of like sexual development at all.
If gender roles don't exist before puberty, why do gender reveal parties have associated colors? Last I checked, they don't like shoot out some confetti that's like tiny dicks. I don't think that they do that. I'm pretty sure they have an association for blue and pink.
How could you know that you don't have, how could you know that this is not correlated to what you want? Well, guess what? The reason why is because you have an adult whispering in your ear telling you it's not.
Such a fucking word vomit, dude. Ah! Like, the points don't even make sense. He's just saying gender doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and you don't know that it exists until you hit puberty, which is just, like, where do you start with that? Where, like, literally, where do you start with that? Yes, it does. We have gender roles for little girls and little boys from the moment that they're born. That's why we have associated colors. That's why people get pissed if you get them a crib that's blue and they're going to have a daughter. Why if gender roles don't exist at all, why do boys get bullied for having like a Barbie backpack at school? Well, because little boys aren't supposed to like Barbies. Why? Gender doesn't exist until puberty. Why? Because it did. Because it does. It does. Oh my god, dude. That's why insecure dads yell at their boys for grabbing a doll. Open the schools back up, please. Please. My 3-year-old daughter absolutely prefers dresses and hair bows, but Asmon thinks that's because we brainwashed her. Yep. It's just the idea that, like, gender roles as a concept aren't real is absurd. And that seems like it's the only thing he's saying. I mean, we can listen to it again. You guys can tell me what else you can even glean from this, because it didn't make any sense.
Anyway, a lot of people were posting this trying to act like, oh, wow, like, you know, we're going to try to get him in trouble for this shit. Like, I'm sorry.
Who said we're going to try and get him in trouble for this shit? Well, you think we're going to, like, message Dan Clancy and be like, have you seen this? Like, what? Everyone's just been making fun of your ass for saying stupid shit. What the hell are you talking about?
But this is like a 90-10 issue. This is like beyond even 80-20. Like, everybody fucking thinks this. The only reason that nobody's saying it is because people are afraid of saying it. The fact is that, like, I don't really give a shit because, like, I mean, fuck, like, people hate me all the time, right? So, like, there's nothing to lose. But the fact is that it's a 99-1. It's an extreme situation. And especially, like, we're talking about, like, you know, I said, like, pre-puberty. And this is really the logic, right? Is that, so pretty much you have, like, the idea of being trans is tied to gender roles, but when you don't even understand what your own gender role is because it doesn't exist, because you're pre-puberty and you haven't even, you know, gone through any sort of like sexual development at all, how could you know that you don't have, how could you know that this is not correlated to what you want? Well, guess what? The reason why is because you have an adult whispering in your ear telling
I've literally never heard the word trans or gender till like 7 years ago. And I knew I felt uncomfortable identifying as a man from a very long time. This is just straight up denying reality. It's just, gender and sexuality are two different things. I don't think he knows that. I don't think he knows that. If you transcripted what he wrote onto a Google Doc, it wouldn't make any sense. Transcripted. Wait a minute. But I really just wanted to show that to you guys because of this. You may notice he's still wearing the same shirt several days later. Maybe we're not so different after all, you and I. Maybe we're not so different after all. Same shirt, Andy's. I get it. I get it. I get it. Just kidding. I actually wash my clothes. I have a washing machine that I use, which is why I can wear the same shirt. All right? I wash it before I wear it again like a fucking normal person. All right? Dude, I always see like funny posts and then I see that the person's following me. Feels amazing, man. Feels so good. Oh, man. What is this?
Here we go. The SAVE Act officially passes in the House to require proof of citizenship in order to vote. 200, and this is of no surprise, 208 Democrats have voted against using ID. Massive fucking W.
I mean, I understand why conservatives, or maybe not even conservatives, I understand why someone like Asmongold would think this. Because, like, I don't know that the dude leaves his house to vote. Because he probably thinks it's not important and he probably doesn't think he should and doesn't have to. Right? And if you've never voted, you don't understand how registering to vote works. And if you don't know what that's like, of course you see the idea that you're showing up and just voting without an ID as being something scary. Because, like, if you've voted ever, you know how the process works. First of all, you have to register to vote. If you don't register to vote, you can't vote. All right? So first of all, you register to vote. And when you register to vote, you show up and give identifying information, which you can provide without having an ID. Usually they might ask you to give an address. Usually they might ask you to give your name. Some areas, maybe a birthday. Also, in some areas, you still need your ID. But in the states that you don't need your ID, you have to provide them with personal information. And guess what? If somebody else votes under that name and provides all the information and you go to vote and you say, hey, I'm here to vote. I'm coming to vote for Denims. Yeah, address 123 Spaghetti Road. They're like, you already voted. No, I didn't. It's like, I don't know what universe they think you could just show up and like vote for countless people just by providing a name and then you're good. And that no one can get caught doing this. That I can just show up and I have my mom's name and I can just go in and vote for her. And that there's no risk of being caught, first off. And that it's easy to fake that information. Like, I don't. Also, the voting fraud, what is it called? Fuck, sorry, I'm like blanking. Voting fraud is it's very high penalty for voting fraud. I think it's like minimum 3 years in prison. It's insane. I know it might be a federal offense, but I know it's a felony. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it, which is why nobody fucking does it except conservatives.
For base Democrats, they should be deported. I think so too, of course. And there's a new Jasmine Crockett video going viral. Is this the Jasmine? Here we go.
Don't worry. Him and his fans will all immediately say, I was obviously joking when I saw nobody like that take. Guys, once I saw people flaming me for it, I decided it was a joke. You idiots. Come on. Use your brains here. You think I would seriously suggest deporting legal citizens because I didn't like the way that they voted on a policy? I would, but in that case, I was joking, okay? I was just pretending to be a fascist. All right? Unbelievable. I thought comedy was legal. But it's okay, guys. He's wearing a different shirt. He's wearing a different shirt. Oh, my God. What is this, dude? What is this Kanye tweet? You start dating a trans woman and wondering why y'all got so many things in common. Okay. Good. That picture of Trump is so good. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good one. Yeah. Oh my God. Chad, has anyone else seen this? People being upset? Before we move on to Hogwatch, has anyone else seen all the people upset about HBO's casting for Abby? I don't know. Is that the character? That's not the main character? I don't fucking remember. That they just don't like the actress. Ellie. Sorry, I'm fake fan. Ellie. Sorry. Has anyone else seen people getting mad about this casting? Why do people care so much about this? I'm going to be honest. When I first saw this, when I first saw who they casted for Ellie, I was like, I feel like she looks very different from what the character originally looked like. But the actress sold the character so well, and she's such a great actress. Sorry, they are such a great actress. I was like, damn, I'm hooked. After one episode, I was like, they work very well as Ellie. I'm sold. I believe this character 100%. They did such a good job. I feel like if you don't think that, you're kind of just like you just kind of hate watching. You're just kind of mad for no reason. You're just kind of mad for no reason.